Good afternoon. Welcome to our Dell Music Lounge live audience. Say hello on the radio. Want to thank our friends at Dell and our friends at Lone River Ranch Water who make our Dell Music Lounge possible. This is our last Dell Music Lounge of 2022, and we're going out big. So this gentleman, Dermot Kennedy, joined us first in our morning show during South by Southwest at one of our live morning broadcasts. I think he woke up at an obscene time to play for us at 7 or 7:30 in the morning. Then came back, played our Dell Music Lounge, and not to, I guess, show you what's behind the curtain, but our Dell Music Lounge is essentially a conference room, and it separates the men from the boys, the famous from the famous who are also artists. This room tends to really point out who's got it and who doesn't. And the last time he was here, it was proof that he's got it. There hasn't been a performance like that in this room probably in those 4 or 5 years since he's been here. So it is something to welcome back Dermot Kennedy to our Dell Music Lounge. And once again, live on Austin City Limits Radio, this is Dermot Kennedy.
Everything was broken. The devil hit his second stride. But you remember what I told you. Someday I'll need your spine to hide behind. For fear of moments stolen, I don't want to say goodnight, but I'll still see you in the morning. Still know your heart and still know both your eyes. I could have told you about the long nights, how no one loves the birds that don't rise, so you can tell the heroes go hide. My sense of wonder's just a little tired, and if only you could see yourself in my eyes, you'd see you shine, and I know you'd never leave me behind. But I am lost this time. Are we destined to burn, or will we last the night? I will hold you till I hold you right. And if only you could see yourself in my eyes, you'd see you shine, Woo. Run into the open, keep your hand inside of mine, and then when everything is over, I hope to think of this as better times. The sky got red and swollen, I guess I never see the signs. There can't be songs for every soldier, it can't be solace every time you cry. I could have told you about the long nights, how no one loves the birds that don't rise, so you can tell the heroes go hide. My sense of wonder's just a little tired, and if only you could see yourself in my eyes, you'd see you shine, and I know you'd never leave me behind. But I am lost this time. Are we destined to burn, or will we last the night? I will hold you till I hold you right. And if only you could see yourself in my eyes, you'd see you shine, I was lost till I found you. And now these songs will hold and hide your name, and all it was And since that night the moon has never seemed the same. But if only you could see yourself in my eyes, you'd see you shine, you shine. Well, I know you'd never leave me behind, but I am lost this time. What if the love you deserve is love you never find? I've learned in love and death we don't decide. And if only you could see yourself in my eyes, you'd see you shine, you shine. Thank you. Thanks so much. Thanks for having me back here again. Thank you for that intro. That's insane. Really appreciate it. I feel like it's a very different version of myself that gets up at 7 o'clock and during South by. Yeah, this song is about looking out for the people you care about, even if you can't be around to do that. Tell me this is all for nothing. I can only tell you one thing. On the nights you feel outnumbered, baby, I'll be out there somewhere. I see everything you can be. I see the beauty that you can't see. On the nights you feel outnumbered, baby, I'll be out there somewhere. I could have showed you all the scars at the start, but that was always the most difficult part. See, I'm in love with how your soul's a mix of chaos and art, and how you never try to keep them apart. I wrote some words and then I stared at my feet, became a coward when I needed to speak. I guess love took on a different kind of meaning for me, so when I go, just know it kills me to leave. To all the stars that light the road, don't ever leave that girl so cold. Never let me down, just lead me home. Don't tell me this is all for nothing. I can only tell you one thing. On the nights you feel outnumbered, baby, I'll be out there somewhere. I see everything you can be. I see the beauty that you can't see. On the nights you feel outnumbered, baby, I'll be out there somewhere. But there's beauty here that's yet to depart, and there's still a song inside the halls in the dark. I'll come for you if you just stay who you are, and I'll always hold your hand in the car. There'll be days when it's difficult, but I ask you to never leave behind the reciprocal. We're past that. Love is not designed for the cynical, so we have that. We can have that. To all the stars that light the road, don't ever leave that girl so cold. Never let me down, just lead me home. Don't tell me this is all for nothing. I can only tell you one thing. On the nights you feel outnumbered, baby, I'll be out there somewhere. I see everything you can be. I see the beauty that you can't see. On the nights you feel outnumbered, baby, I'll be out there somewhere. How long can you wait for the one you deserve? Light on, never let it out, never let it out. If I'm gone, if you ever leave, I hope that you learn to fight on, to fight on. Don't tell me this is all for nothing. I can only tell you one thing. On the nights you feel outnumbered, baby, I'll be out there somewhere. I see everything you can be. I see the beauty that you can't see. On the nights you feel outnumbered, baby, I'll be out there somewhere. Oh, Baby, I'll be out there somewhere, somewhere, somewhere. Baby, I'll be out there somewhere, somewhere. Thank you.
Dermot Kennedy live on Austin City Limits Radio. There's a new album, I should point out. It's currently sitting at #1 in both the UK and his native Ireland. So that album's called Sonder. We'll talk more about the record in a minute. Let's talk about a couple of dichotomies. You're a shy guy who does this for a living. You're a guy who plays stadiums now, but doesn't have any kind of stage fright. How does that work?
I think the root of all of that, because that's really true, all of that. And I think the root of everything is just kind of like I wouldn't say I hide in the songs, but like that's like, you know, that's what gets me through everything, you know. And I want to play to as many people as I can, but I've never felt like a born performer. I just feel like I can sing the songs, you know. And so and so for that reason as well, I don't get particularly nervous. Like, I'd be nervous for this, but not for like 20,000 people.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that footage from the other day where you're on a balcony at home in Dublin.
Yeah.
And there's more than 20,000 people down there. And what's in your head at those moments?
In that one, I mean, like, there's a lot in my head for that particular moment, because that's the exact spot where I used to play in the street where no one would stop. And so it was this lovely kind of full circle thing. But I think the main thing, when I'm in that scenario like this, like just me and the guitar without the band and stuff, to me, the main thing in my head is that it has to be very good. Because my thing was, I was doing those sessions during the summer, like all around the world. I'd just set up somewhere in the street and play. And I think the main thing in my head is that, like, when I busked, there's a lot of people that are really good. And so if I'm the one that does get to play stadiums, you'd want to be better than the person that's like 100 yards down the street, you know what I mean? Because, so to me, that's the thing. You just have to actually be decent at what you're doing. So, but yeah, in answer to your question, I live fully through the songs, and that gets me on stage without being nervous, yeah.
Now, for the way it happened for you, where you're a guy who was busking, you're a stadium guy now. Was there a sense at some point of imposter syndrome of, why me? Maybe this shouldn't be me. Did you deal with that?
Not much, because I think sometimes people kind of get the impression that you went from playing in the street to playing to 20,000, you know? Whereas everywhere, literally every city in the US, everywhere in Europe, everywhere in Ireland, I could lay out like every venue we played on the way up, you know what I mean? And so it's kind of 5 or 6 years of just returning to places and putting on a show that's good enough that it's bigger next time. So I think the imposter syndrome kind of fades over time, because you're like, well, I've earned this level, and then I'll earn the next level. And so you get there quite gradually. It's kind of surprising.
But the key is to want that next level without ego.
Sure. And
or
who
without
knows,
letting
like,
got drive that, I
guess. And it's interesting. Like, sometimes I'll have the best show of my life playing in a bar, and then sometimes you can have a show. Like, we played a show during the summer in Ireland to like 70,000 people. We headlined this festival, and I loved it. Like, I really loved it. But also, it's a thing where I'm like, maybe I'd love theaters more than anything. You know what I mean? Like, say where we're playing tonight in Moody. Like, that's, like, I love that room, you know? And it feels like you can get this big crowd, but also keep it really intimate. So, I mean, like, but to me, there's only one way to find out if you love it. You know what I mean? And playing to those big crowds, it feels good.
Is the through line between records simply urgency? That I think that's the thing that you do maybe better than the next guy, is there's a sense of urgency within all these songs.
Right, yeah, maybe. It's funny,
is
sometimes...
that something you think about?
Yeah, it is, because sometimes I'll play covers, right? We did a cover of a Van Morrison song called Days Like This, and it's interesting because when I play that one, I'm like, wow, there's so much space, right? Like, there's so much kind of, like, it's so chilled. And then I'll play one of my own, and I'm kind of like, geez, like, I'm going all the time here. And so I don't know where that comes from within me. Yeah, urgency is a good word, yeah.
I mean, but is that something that in the songwriting process, because it's got to start this way,
yeah,
but you also have to build them up into both songs that work on stage and ideally songs that work on the radio. I mean, the litmus test is, can you strip it back down to this?
Always. Yeah, usually. Yeah, that's where it comes from. Yeah, I don't think I've necessarily done anything of any great worth when it didn't start like this or at a piano. Yeah. Yeah, that's usually the way it starts. Yeah.
How different is the guy standing before me from the guy who woke up during
4
South
years
by
ago.
Southwest? Yeah.
Not different, genuinely. Like, I mean, I would like to think I've learned a lot. I think a huge thing for me, and something I would say to anyone who makes music and wants to do what I do, is like, you got to be open to stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's a lot of songwriters, and me included. At the age of 18, I probably thought I knew exactly how I wanted it to go, and I knew exactly what it was going to be like, and you just don't. And so you have to be willing to adapt and change a bit. And so for me, I'd like to think I'm different in some ways and more open. And to me, like, I feel like I'm lucky enough to kind of know who I am as a person already, and so that lets me kind of just go head first into the career, and you know, like, even if everything collapsed, I'll still be him, you know what I mean? And so that's always there for me to fall back on. So I feel quite open and quite just it's all exciting.
I mean, the pandemic notwithstanding, in that was time off.
Yeah.
Has this all happened, even though you can trace where you've been?
Yeah.
Has this happened quickly enough that it's hard to process?
Yeah, I think so. I think the silver lining of the pandemic was I got to kind of take stock of a few things, because you really don't. Like, we'll play the biggest show we've ever done, and then at 2 a.m. you're on the bus to go do it somewhere else. You know, like, you get very little time to actually think about what you're doing. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's a funny thing. I was saying this the other night. I have quite a hard time being present in what I'm doing, because in the songs, there's so much of the past, right? So you spend so much time living in the past. And then as an ambitious person, you spend so much time thinking about the future and spend so much time sort of trying to envision that and sort of get there as vividly as you can. And then, so there's not much time where you're actually in the moment. Yeah. Yeah. It's wild these days too, as an artist. I can't speak on other generations, but like, it's just nonstop, you know?
Do you wish you were in that moment more?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Because, you know, say for example, like, I'll go see, not that long ago, I went and saw an artist called Griff play Bowery Ballroom in New York. And yeah, she's great. And it was like 400 people, 500 people. And I was just like, wow, we did this moment like 4 years ago now. And to me, watching her play, I was like, this is so exciting. Like, she should be so excited, because everyone's really excited. And here, like, there's room for a bigger venue next time, blah, blah, blah. But like, when you're doing it, you really just power through everything. You know what I mean? And not to say I took it for granted, but like, I would love to kind of relive this sort of touring in a van and kind of see it. Yeah, I mean, touch wood, you know, but yeah, like, careful what you wish for, because I'm sure that moment
I can
is
hold you a 7:30 a.m. slot for this year's South by if you're interested.
Good,
yeah, we can work on that. One of the most trite things you can do talking to an Irishman is to talk about Bono, and I've done it twice with you before.
It's like second to drinking, yeah.
Yeah. But you recently went to see Bono on this speaking tour that he's doing.
Yes, yeah.
And what was interesting to me was they ran through who was in that crowd. And the president of your country was in that crowd.
Oh, really? They did a list, yeah.
Yeah. Glenn Hansard, who was instrumental in helping you early on in that crowd.
Yep.
I mean, your heroes and leaders were all in sort of one room. How weird was that night for you, to be one of those A-list names in that room at home watching Bono?
Yeah, it's a very important thing to me, you know? I think we all ended up at a bar that evening as well. Not the president, but that wouldn't be that weird either. But yeah, no, it's very important to me, you know? I think about that lineage, and I think about the artists I look up to and how they paved the way. And it's funny, we're kind of at a point now where anytime we hit a milestone, it's kind of like, has anyone else Irish done this? And it's always just you two have done it like 100 times. But yeah, just a legend. I think there's a real thing in Ireland where there's a real sort of respect for songwriting and the arts in general. I mean, the president is top of all that. He's a poet himself, and so it's just a very important part of our country. Yeah. And so to be part of a generation that kind of like looks up to the Glenn Hanses and stuff, yeah, I'm very proud of that.
Is the next step maybe using this platform the way Bono and Glenn Hansard have, issues and, giving back at every turn? I mean,
yeah, we've done a ton of that
not
already.
That you haven't, but I'm just saying, is that also something they're role modeling for you?
Yeah, totally. And we were talking about it that night, and and Bono was talking about his efforts in this country to raise as much money as he could with Bob Geldof and stuff. And yeah, I think so. I really do. I think it's interesting, right? Because it's a bigger conversation. But nowadays, you can talk about the value of music. And like like Bob Dylan used to change the world with a song, like truly. And that doesn't necessarily happen nowadays because there's so much music coming all the time. And sometimes you can kind of question the worth of what you're doing. And I think, so I think if you can have a platform and actually affect the world a tiny bit, to me, that's very important. And I think, especially in, say, like even personally, just in a country like Ireland, it's so small, you know what I mean? So like, a little does go a long way. So if you're kind of in that position where you can do something, I think it can be quite a powerful thing.
All right. Well, again, we appreciate you doing this for us this afternoon. And once again, live on Austin City Limits Radio, Dermot Kennedy.
Thank you. There's lessons in love sometimes. The heart is but a winding road, so this story goes. I get scared of the dark and I never even noticed rooms were made bright by you. Oh, you love me more than anyone. Yeah, we were up so high. We were lost when we were young, but you were mine. Once upon a time, you were by my side. I wish I could have known that I should hold on tight to every single word, every summer night. Wish I could have known that forever was a lie. But once upon a time, I was something to someone. But once upon a time, I was something to someone. See your shape under gold street lights, but every time I'm close, you move, and I'm just left with the truth. Oh, you love me more than anyone. Yeah, we were up so high. We were lost when we were young, but you were mine. See, once upon a time, you were by my side. I wish I could have known that I should hold on tight to every single word, every summer night. Wish I could have known that forever was a lie. But once upon a time, I was something to someone. But once upon a time, I was something to someone. Something to you. I was something to you. See, once upon a time, you were by my side. I wish I could have known that I should hold on tight to every single word, every summer night. Wish I could have known that forever was a lie. But once upon a time, I was something to someone. But once upon a time, I was something to someone. Something to you. I was something to you. I was something to you. Oh, I was something to someone. Something to you. I was something to someone. But once upon a time, I was something to someone. But once upon a time, I was something to someone. Oh, once upon a time, I was something to someone. But once upon a time, I was was something to someone. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, I got one more. And this song kind of, oftentimes the music and the lyrics show up at the same time for me, but this one, there was a certain book that I was reading that felt very kind of, it was very poignant. And these days, all this traveling, everything I do, it's hard to even switch my brain on for long enough to read a book. And as sad as that sounds, it's not that sad. But and so with this one, it was a book about a psychologist that falls in love with one of his patients. And so they have some of these days that are just like incredibly beautiful, and then some days that are unspeakably bad and chaotic and difficult. And on one of the good days, when everything seems very, very perfect and beautiful, she sort of says to him, just always remember, no matter how bad it gets, that this version is the true version of me and of us. And I thought that was a very sort of powerful idea for a song, that the best version of something always exists and might just be hidden at times. It's called Kiss Me. If we could take a photo, eternalize this moment for the days when I don't believe, when our love gets stolen, 'cause there's no exception. And I know time will take you far from me. Let this night invade my lungs. You're all I wanna breathe. Right beside the lake, I'll burn for you. You burn for me. So kiss me the way that you would if we died tonight. And hold me the way that you would for the final time. Whatever may come somewhere deep inside, there's always this version of you and I. So kiss me the way that you would if we died tonight. All our deepest secrets, all our darkest moments, oh, I promise they'll be safe with me. We've all been broken, and there's no exception, but you carry it so gracefully. Let this night invade my lungs. You're all I wanna breathe. Right beside the lake, I'll burn for you. You burn for me. So kiss me the way that you would if we died tonight. And hold me the way that you would for the final time. Whatever may come somewhere deep inside, there's always this version of you and I. So kiss me the way that you would if we died tonight. If we died tonight, yeah. If we died tonight, yeah, yeah. So I let this night in my lungs. You're all that I wanna breathe. Right beside you down at the lake, I'll burn for you, burn for me. So kiss me the way that you would if we died tonight. And hold me the way that you would for the final time, yeah. Whatever may come somewhere deep inside, there's always this version of you and I. So kiss me the way that you would If we die tonight, if we die tonight, yeah. If we die tonight, yeah, yeah. No, no, no. If we die tonight. Thank you.
Dermot Kennedy live on Austin City Limits Radio. Speaking of living in the moment, it's your birthday tomorrow.
Yeah.
You going to be able to stop and recognize that, or?
No, I don't. I'm like, yeah, to me, it's kind of just a day, a little bit, yeah.
All right.
I like other people's birthdays, but mine, I'm like, yeah.
All right. Well, happy birthday anyway. And the album is called Sonder. It's available wherever it is you buy your music. And again, thank you
Thanks so
for
much.
being gracious enough to come up here and do this today. We want to thank our friends at Dell and at Lone River Ranch Water and our live studio audience who have joined us for our final Dell Music Lounge of the year. Early next year, we'll be back with Wolfstock. We've got something special planned there. And, of course, we will return this year to the Van Zant for South by Southwest and bring you live morning broadcasts each morning of the music portion of South by Southwest. So you can just follow us on social media and listen to the radio for all the details there. Thank you again to Dermot Kennedy. Thank you to our audience. I'm going to throw it back downstairs to myself.